Good everyone and welcome to today's video, and today we have a premium review on the Fw-190 A-5 U14. This is a plane that I've had in my backlog for quite a while now, and well, given that it's had its problems fixed for the most part, what better time than ever to actually take this plane out for a review. So in the description below there will be a link to a couple of timestamps, one of which is the weaponry, armour and the engine, as well as other miscellaneous things that are related to the aircraft, which will be featured in the hangar. And of course, you can skip straight ahead to that, or the gameplay, which is pretty self-explanatory. And well, I will say, I don't fly this plane how you should in the gameplay, but it's just a good example of what the plane can do. Without further ado, let's get in and discuss this aircraft's price, because whilst the price is reasonable for a rank 3, there's something I need to point out about this plane. So first of all, the price. It's 1600 golden eagles, which isn't too bad. It's pretty well priced, and it's decent enough on a sale as well, coming in at 800 golden eagles. My main issue with this aircraft is the fact that the Focke-Wulfs are not exactly new player friendly. And when this was put in the game as a premium, I was rather surprised. Me personally, if I was in charge of making this aircraft go in the tree, I would put it slap bang behind, so I don't know where they've moved it. I would have put it slap bang behind this one, the A5U2. That would have made more sense to me, at least. But they didn't do that. So that does kind of go, You know, it's not something you think about. But to me, this would rather have been better off in the tree as an optional research vehicle, because it doesn't really bring a lot to the table over the tech tree Focke-Wulfs. There is one thing that it brings, but obviously we'll cover that very shortly. So let's get into the weaponry, the armour, and of course the extra things like the engine and the one minor difference between its airframe compared to other Focke-Wulfs. So starting off with that one minor airframe difference is the tail wheel's been slightly moved back and the tail's been slightly raised. That's to help with the torpedo that this thing carries. It only gets a torpedo as its secondary load. No bombs, no rockets, no gun pods, no nothing. All it gets is a torpedo, which we'll talk about shortly. So let's get into the engine. The BMW 801D2. This will be quite a common engine as you go through the Focke-Wulf line in the tech tree, that is. Pretty solid all-round engine, 14 cylinders, 1650 horsepower on WEP. Not bad, and it's pretty nice. The climb rate is average, and its high altitude performance is a bit poor compared to some other aircraft, but it's better than some. Its main strengths is low to medium altitude combat, and it does that pretty well. But obviously with the Focke-Wulfs having a bit of an unforgiving flight model, this can be a bit of a detriment to newer players, which is certainly why I don't recommend this aircraft to a new player. Coming over to its weaponry, we do have two 20mm MG151 cannons, which these are sufficient for the job. I just feel they're a bit... They need a bit more, like there needs to be an extra cannon or two. Whilst two 151s are effective and definitely will do the damage, as you'll see in the gameplay, the way they're positioned threw me off a little bit because I haven't flown Focke-Wulf for a while. But to me, just having the two 151s here and nothing else like machine guns, gun pods or anything like that, it feels a bit lackluster for the airframe. And obviously with the airframe being a bit debatable in terms of its overall handling and performance, this is something where this is just down to personal opinion. As I say in the gameplay though, this aircraft is not bad. I don't think it's a bad airframe or a bad aircraft at all. I just feel this shouldn't have been a premium, but that's my opinion. Coming over to the armour, we do have a little bit of engine cowling armour, which varies from about 3mm to 5mm. It is slightly sloped in sections, so you will have some degree of extra protection, but realistically the bullets are going to land right on your engine, and the engine on this thing loves to catch fire. In terms of other armour, you do have a little bit of pilot armour, which will definitely make some degree of difference from smaller caliber machine guns. And you also have 57mm of bulletproof glass, which I believe has a .4 modifier, so that's not the worst and will definitely help out with some machine gun fire. Coming over to the recommended belts, I would run the air targets. If you're down with the kids with the 151s, use the stealth, because you don't have as much firepower as a regular Focke-Wulf. You've got to make those shots count. And finally, we come to the one redeeming factor, which is not much of a redeeming factor, of this aircraft compared to its protectory brethren, the F-5B Torpedo. It unfortunately is one where its drop speed is not favourable for this aircraft. The Focke-Wulfs really have not great, shall we say, low speed handling, and no prizes to guess what the German Torpedo requires. Quite a low drop speed of just under 174 miles per hour. This does limit its potential. And as I said, the aircraft lacks any other sort of secondary weapons. Now, I'm not sure if this aircraft was ever tried with anything other than a torpedo. I've never really looked into it. But yeah, that's its one major difference between it and the regular tech tree Focke-Wulfs is the torpedo. I don't think you'll be getting much use out of it, but for naval players, you might. Overall, though, coming up to the end here, I don't think this aircraft is worth the purchase, in my personal opinion, for most players. For people who love Focke-Wulfs, I think this will be fine for you, but for a newer player, I would rather give them the TA-154. Whilst it does trade quite a few things about it for what it brings to the table, it at least gets an air spawn, it gets a bit more firepower, and most of the time can take a bit more of a hit, in my experience anyway. And with that interceptor spawn, it can take out bombers, and whilst it lacks any sort of secondary weapons, it's the much more suitable option for a premium, in my personal opinion. But that's it for the hangar section. I'm going to hand you over to the gameplay now, where you'll see this aircraft in action. Obviously, do bear in mind, one, my aim is shit in the gameplay. I'm going to say that right away, because, well, I haven't played Focke-Wulf for a while. But also, the aircraft's handling will be noticeable in the gameplay. But anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it for today, and I will see you all on the next one. Well, I'm only a few minutes into this match, and already we've had a team kill because someone doesn't understand the new mechanic of severe damage. And this is a 5-0 match, and we have someone bringing that. So yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. I'm not saying this is a bad aircraft, but to me, this just seems like an aircraft that is very situational in what it can do. I'm not saying it's bad. I actually like the Focke-Wulfs myself. But to me, I don't see a reason to really use this one when it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. You know? Now, I will say this, if you are going to buy this thing, which I would personally say the TA-154 is a bit more user-friendly, to some extent, this aircraft tends to have better teams when you pair it with the Brits. At least that's my experience. So if I was you, pair it with the Brits. Come on, slow down. That's it. That's it. That's him done. The important thing to dogfight in this thing is keeping your speed up. Nice. Good kill. You need to keep your speed up when it comes to dogfighting and reversal in this thing, because if you don't, this aircraft will teach you a very harsh lesson in why you should. Trust me, I've flown enough Focke-Wulfs to know that. I'm going to go and see if I can help the guy over here, but then again, the bots are tempting. Alright, don't fly into the buildings. That would be embarrassing. I thought that bot just flew into one of the buildings then. I was quite concerned. Luckily, it didn't. I'm a bit worried about that P-38, that's fine. So far though, 2 kills, like, other U14 also got 2 kills, but, yeah. I'm a bit too low on that. How am I not hitting? My aim must be really shit with 151s. I haven't used 151s in a decent time. I'll get a bit closer. No harm in it. It's only a bot. That's the ticket. I've just got to get back into the swing of things with these guns. I'm not one to really like main 151s, especially ones in the wing route. It's why if they ever brought out another Dora Focke-Wulf to like review, I would have to like get down, like just fly it a lot just to get used to it. There we go, severe damage. Must admit, that's such a good mechanic. Obviously to me, I know that's dying, that bot, but some people they won't, so they might try and steal it. Alright, what are you going to try then, dear boy? You going to try an old trick? Oh, I think he's just hit the building. He has just hit the building. No, it's a tree he's hit. Same thing, pretty much. Alright, let's go to strafe some ground targets. Because the P-38 is being a bomber zombie, and I don't really want to chase him. Now, I would go back to base and, like, load up bombs or something, but this thing doesn't get any. I've not really read anything about it not, like, having the ability to, but I've not really found anything that says it did. I'm gonna go help this IL-10. I will say, though, like, unlike the A-5 in the Japanese tree and German tree, this thing doesn't overheat as much. Like, I've noticed this is one of the few Focke-Wulfs that doesn't actually overheat, which is quite nice, to say the least. Obviously, the enemy team is mostly full of bombers now, so I'm just going to go help. Well, I'm going to avenge this IL-10, because obviously I couldn't get there fast enough. And then I'll farm some more bots and go from there, really. But yeah, I don't think this is a bad plane. I've never really thought the Focke-Wulfs are bad planes. They're just very situational planes. Ooh, that was close. Right, flaps. Why my landing flaps not coming down? Gaijin, does this thing not get landing flaps? Thank you. He's at quite low speed, which is going to help us out quite a bit. I think he's about to crash, I'm not sure. Has he overheated his engine or something? Yeah, he's trying to land it in the residential area. I'll take it though. Obviously, we obviously do get kill credit up there, but I don't think that was my kill, to be honest. I think he had severe damage, but the IL-10 obviously didn't get credit for severe damage. I've still got 180 rounds, so I'm going to go for more ground targets. Might as well. P8 just died, so yeah, it's down to me and the Yak-3T, who is currently being a bomber zombie. So yeah, I might as well just stick around and go for vehicles and stuff. Because vehicles I can easily kill. Where's the rest of their bots, actually? I think all the bots have been shot down, so that should make my life a lot easier. I'm just worried about the P-38, because that thing could cause a lot of problems. There we go. See, like I said, I don't think these are bad planes. I just think this one specifically, I don't know why it's a premium myself. I don't think it should have been a premium. I would have put it in a folder just after the A-5 U12 myself. That would have been my solution. And given us something like, I don't know, what would a decent Focke-Wulf be to put in the tech tree? Like, I don't know. There's that many, to be honest. But there we go. Nice easy win. Had a little bit of trouble with the King Cobra, but, well, yeah, that's just how it can be. Like I said, I don't think this is a bad plane. but it can definitely do a lot of work, and we get an extra 7500 SL. But yeah, personally, I don't think this is for everyone. This is a sort of plane where an experienced pilot would like an experienced pilot, Focke-Wulfs that is, would absolutely love this thing. But the problem is it doesn't have any redeeming factors other than being a Focke-Wulf, which that's all I'm going to say on that front. But personally, I don't think this is for a new player. I don't think this is for a mid-experience level player. This is more for an expert level pilot. And even then, I don't know. This feels different to the other Focke-Wulfs. I can't tell what, because it's been a while since I've played a Focke-Wulf, especially the Antons. But this doesn't feel right to me.